What's up? Nick Hilton here with Mountain Bike Action, and in this video we are reviewing the Fantic XEF 1.9 Carbon Team. So back in 2023, we reviewed the original XEF 1.9 factory, and we weren't really able to give it 2 thumbs up. But improvements have been made, and so we're excited to test this one out. So as far as the drive unit goes, nothing has changed since the previous model. It's still equipped with a Brose S-Mag 36 motor system, and it produces a claimed 90 Newton meters of torque with up to 410% assist. They've paired this motor with a 720 watt-hour battery, and this is easily removable with just a single bolt. Fantic has also included a color display on the handlebar, which we don't really love the position of because it's really easy to scratch it if you fall because it's in a vulnerable position. And this motor has 5 assist modes: Eco, Trail, Sport, Boost, and Walk. Now the Fantic XEF 1.9, it features a carbon front triangle with an all-new injected composite rear seat stay. This seat stay composite was designed with Fantic's R&D and Acerbis, which is an Italian brand known for motorcycle plastics. Now the Fantic XEF 1.9 does not have any geometry adjustments. It is fixed, there are no flip chips. Our size large test bike comes with a 64.5 degree head angle, 446 millimeter reach, and 461 millimeter chainstays. Now for the suspension, the XEF 1.9, it's got a single pivot 4-bar suspension design with 190 millimeters of travel. In the back, we've got a RockShox Super Deluxe Coil Select Plus shock. And in the front, we've got a 190 millimeter travel RockShox Zeb Ultimate fork with high and low speed compression adjusters as well as rebound. Now for the components. Fantic only offers the XEF 1.9 Carbon Team in a singular build. This build comes in at $7,990. It's equipped with a SRAM NX Eagle mechanical drivetrain paired with 170 millimeter long FSA aluminum cranks, and usually 170 millimeter cranks, we run into the problem of a lot of pedal strikes, but the Fantic has a relatively high bottom bracket, so we didn't have those same issues with these cranks. Now for stopping power, we've got a pair of Magura MT7s with 220 millimeter braking Batfly floating rotors. This combination provides excellent stopping power, absolutely no complaints there. This bike has a mixed wheel setup with a pair of Mavic D-Max wheels. This is the eMTB version of them. And for tires, we've got Vittoria's eMazza and eMartello. Now, as far as climbing on this bike goes, the drive unit is exactly the same as the previous model. However, we're not sure if they tuned the motor differently or just this new bike is lighter, but even with 190 millimeters of travel front and rear, this bike was able to climb well. And it felt a lot more powerful and torquey than the previous model did, like I said, even with the same motor. Now on paper, this drive unit is not the most powerful, but it got the job done and it was relatively easy to get to the top of your next descent. Now battery life and range are decent. However, there is no compatibility with a range extender, which for longer group rides, if you're riding with someone who does have a range extender, it might induce a little bit of anxiety and you're probably gonna wanna kick it down a notch to make sure that you last the whole ride. Now with that said, the battery is removable with a single bolt and it's a bit smaller than most, so you could technically carry an extra battery with you if you're into that kind of thing. Now, when it comes to going downhill, the Fantic XEF 1.9, it's got 190 millimeters of travel front and rear. It will plow through anything. Now, the rear suspension feels a lot better than it did on the previous model. No longer do we feel like we are just going to blow through the entire stroke of the shock. and it's a lot more predictable than when we were descending on the previous model. Now, even though you aren't just completely blowing to the bottom of the stroke, it's still very, very linear. There's not any compression adjustments, so there's not a lot to really push against. So on berms and rollers, when you push, you're not getting that much out of it. Now, something about this bike, the chainstay is rather long, and that kind of sends your body weight towards the front of the bike on really steep descents. And for me, I'm only like 5'10". I'm barely big enough to like actually ride the large frame. And I noticed when things were really, really steep, not only was I kind of already being pushed to the front, the seat height, even when it slammed, is high. So it was kind of wanting to hit me when I was trying to get back, because it's overall a really big bike, and that's partly my problem because I'm short, but it's something to note that it is a very tall bike and it wants to push you forward. So when you're trying to get back, it doesn't allow for that like I would prefer. Overall, with the Fantic, we think that they've made so many great improvements since the previous model, which have made this bike a lot more enjoyable to ride. The motor feels like it's got a lot more power to move this big bike up the hill at a reasonable speed that actually makes it fun. And going downhill, you can really ride any kind of terrain. And yes, it kicks you over the front a little bit on steep stuff, but that doesn't make it impossible to ride any type of terrain. Now, some people may prefer a bike that you're less glued to the ground on, because the XEF 1.9, it does feel like that. You're planted the whole time. Like, you have no issues getting tires on the ground, but some people might want something that feels a little more lively, a little more playful. But if you're someone who wants a machine that will plow through anything, and you want something that would stand out on the trail and just be different than everybody else, then definitely take a look at the Fantic XEF 1.9 Carbon Team. All right, we will see you in the next video. Let us know what products or bikes would you like to see us test. And don't forget, we publish a print magazine every single month. We test multiple bikes every month. We test products, we tell stories. Subscribe, and subscribe here.